Ariel just gave me this look, like, you know what you need to do.
You have to say it though.
No, you just gave me the look, so there's growth there. So that's a non-scale victory right there. Okay, so it's March 24th, my dad's birthday. And so excited to check in with you guys tonight, hear how everything's going. And then we're going to talk about social situations, which I feel like this is kind of perfect timing with everyone getting their vaccines and spring and things starting to opening up. Hi, Laura. So we're going to talk about parties and family gatherings and networking events and how to navigate all that stuff and still stay on track with your goals, but not go totally off the rails, but also not be the person like in the corner eating out of Tupperware or skipping the whole social thing because you're afraid to go off your plan or something. Laura, you look like you're in a classroom.
No, it's my kitchen. My kids are back to school, so like I wouldn't have to do this, but they use it all the time. So whatever. That's just how my kitchen will be for a little bit.
Awesome. Okay, let's go through some check-ins. I want to hear how everyone's doing, what barriers you're coming up with this week, any wins that we can celebrate, and just like in general, how's everything going? Mary, will you start?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, speaking of social gatherings, we went to like a food tasting event on Saturday.
Ooh.
And I mean, it was phenomenal. And when I think about the food, it was actually healthy food. Like we had oysters and, tuna and, caviar. But I mean, a little bit of everything. And it was so hard to put in my planner. So I have no idea, like if I even remotely got it right. But yeah, that was difficult. But I think I'm finally getting into the macro groove. So today I was literally, I planned out my whole food and that is what I'm having to do. Like literally put the food that I think I'm going to eat in here and see what it looks like and then make modifications. Like I had 2 chicken thighs and the skin was on it. And then when I put it on with the skin, because I love skin, the fat was too high. And then I literally took the skin off and I ate it and it was just as good, so I'm getting there, And
that really helps though. Like, I know I say that every week, like a broken record, but like planning it and then literally putting it in and then making those adjustments. Like, oh, if I rip the skin off, this will fit. Or like, oh, I have another piece or half a piece or something.
Yep. Yeah. So I think I'm finally getting into the groove. My biggest challenge is I don't like to eat the same things every day. And so, just finding those combinations. And I feel like I went and got a boatload of, the light mayo and just everything that kind of fits. So I feel like having more food choices allows me to be able to get the macros right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a double-edged sword, right? Because it makes it a little more complicated because if you're always like refiguring out those macros, it's more complicated. But if you're eating literally the same thing every day and that's going to make you super bored and fall off, that doesn't work either. So I think if you can find a couple go-tos for like each meal and know that they're kind of in the range you want to be.
Yeah, exactly. So that, I think that's all going good. And my calorie income has increased a lot and I'm hungrier.
Yes.
So I know that is a good thing. And last week I was still losing like a pound, I don't know what it's going to look like this week though. So after my night out and
one night is not going to ruin anything. Yeah. That's awesome. How is your back feeling?
Better. It's not 100%, but it's way, way, way better. Good. I'm just really trying to take care of and really just the computer thing. So making sure my screen's up and all of that. So it's getting better. But the crappy weather the last 2 days, I haven't walked too. So that's been kind of a bummer, but
yeah, it should be nicer tomorrow.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. That's all super good news. I love it. Ariel, how about you?
Hi, lady. Sorry I missed you all last week. I wasn't feeling super well, but I just got back from the neurologist and I am all clear, concussion-wise, and they had found a couple things at my MRI. Turns out apparently I got dropped as a baby. So they're like, you can see the physical injury, but you're neurologically fine. My mother is not claiming that, obviously, but don't drop your kids is like the lesson learned there. But no, I feel good. Annie had to like motivate me a little bit this week and remind me that I need to plan. So I'm gonna dedicate some time this weekend to really set myself up for success. And now that I can actually work out, start implementing some of the training sessions into my week 2.
That's exciting.
Done yet, so I'm excited about. And I think overall, I think I posted in the Facebook, like I finally hit the macro, like, I did it. But it was like completely random. It just like kind of worked out that day. So hoping to do that again in like a planned way soon. And I haven't dropped any more weight, but I think with the planning and the, being more diligent about it. I did try my first high carb day yesterday, just, Annie, and we'll see how it goes.
Yes. Awesome. You're still figuring it out.
That's the name of my podcast. It's a joke. Yes, I very much still am. Yeah.
That's awesome. And for anyone, I'm going to talk a little bit about like motivation later too, because this is coming up with like a lot. It comes up all the time, right? Like if it was easy, we'd all just do it on our own. And what I told Ariel, quite frankly, is that it's really a lot of times, hi baby, it's not so much about motivation or inspiration or feeling like it, because like those are fleeting feelings. So really it's, and I'll talk about a little bit ways to motivate yourself, but the more that you can rely on systems and planning and scheduling and accountability, that really helps. And then I also said it's like a mindset thing. Approach this like if you're like a white man, right? Like they decide to do something, the whole world has to know about it. The whole world has to know like this is very important and like this has to be like top priority, and like treat this like that, right? Like the time that you need to plan your meals is important. The time that you need to eat your meals is important. Just I think like as women, we're like, oh, whatever I need is like last, but it's not. It has to be first. And just, I mean, I'm, obviously being facetious, but yeah, I mean, a few years ago, one of my guy friends moved in with me as a roommate for a few months, and he was a trainer and he was, kind of a bodybuilder, and it was just the way he talked, and it wasn't anything obnoxious, but he's like, well, I need to eat because I need to do my workout in 2 hours. So I need to figure out, it's just like so important. And there was no qualms about it, no apology. And so I think all of us take that, but just take that with that seriously, not bringing men down, because it is important and they know it's important. And we need to also know that it's important.
Yeah.
So there's my pep talk.
No, it's really good. And I will say I'm very much looking forward to tonight, because I am, and it's work related. It's not even like fun, really fun related. I have to go to so many events normally for work. And when I'm lobbying down in our state capitol in Springfield, it's like every single night, it's like, let's have drinks, let's go to dinner, and it's like a lot. So looking forward to that.
And that can be really hard.
So hard.
If you're not properly equipped, but we got you. We're going to talk about it and make a plan. Awesome. Okay. So good for that. I'm excited. Let me know when you're trying to figure out workouts and stuff like that. If you have any questions, we can go into it. Awesome. How about Michelle? How about you?
It was a pretty good week. The high carb days I tried to kind of plan them and tried to figure out what I'm going to eat ahead of time. And I think that helped because I think last time I just kind of did like, whatever, it's a high carb day. But I still went like right over on the calories. But had I not even done that, I think it would have been worse.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm kind of taking credit for all the, well, if I didn't do this, it would have been a lot worse.
Yes, no, seriously, and that's a win, right? And those high carb days are a trial and error learning process. And, you know, just like Mary was saying with like plugging it all in first, the more you can do that and be like, okay, like I think this is going to fit for my high carb day. Will it fit? Like true or false? Once you plug it in, then you can know, because until you kind of get it right a few times, then you can start to kind of eyeball it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm keeping up with all the things. I'm still doing like a little bit of journaling and meditation in the morning just to like chill out before my day starts. And I've actually like really liked that part of my day. So that's been kind of a nice habit that I've gotten into now. And then I'm definitely not getting there on the water. I've kind of given up on that a little bit. Like I'm doing the 64 ounces, but we'll see. Like we'll see about getting past that barrier. And everything else. And I'm still kind of like, I'm getting like an average of like 6,000 to 7,000 steps a day, still trying to like do some huge walks on the weekends. So I think that's been nice.
That's awesome.
Fresh air has been really nice.
Yeah. And I just love that, you know, like that's your schedule and really like front loading on the weekends because they're so busy during the weeks. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Ambria, how about you?
Hi.
Hi.
A pretty good week. So managed to grocery shop. So that was really good, but overdid it. We'll have food for weeks now. See if we can eat it before it goes bad. So that's good. I live for the high carb days. But I'm with you. I treat them as unlimited carbs, which is not the right approach, but they're my favorite day of the week. So that's, and then similar to Mary, just with the weather, I haven't really gotten out, but we'll do that as it gets nice again.
Yeah, good. Awesome. Good job on getting the groceries.
Big accomplishments.
I am not kidding at all. That is a huge accomplishment because otherwise you just stand at the refrigerator being like, I guess we're going to order pizza.
Right. It's a huge accomplishment because, you know, when I was like, I need to meal plan, guys, I still haven't done it. So like, kudos to you because we're 8 weeks in, or however many weeks in, and I'm still not there.
Hard.
Yes. No, it is important. I was not joking at all when I was like, that's a win. Okay. And who's your little friend there?
This is Cubby. Is really missing the walks. He kind of got in the habit of those. So about 3 o'clock every day, he lays next to me all day, but then about 3 o'clock he seems to wake up and then
he's ready to go, huh?
Yeah, he's a good little guy.
Oh my gosh, so cute. Okay, awesome. Great check-in. That's awesome. Laura, how about you?
Okay, I kind of broke the rule. I bought a juice cleanse because my friend has her own little like juicing company, and she was like, I have a really good spring special and I wanted to support her. Whatever.
Like, you mean not hitting your macros because you were
right? Not at all. Like sugar through the roof, all carbs, like no protein.
I was wondering what was going on. I did your check-in and I was like,
I know. So that was, I did it, let's see, Sunday, Monday, and then like half of Tuesday, because we celebrated my mom's birthday yesterday. So I ended it to eat with her. It did feel really good to be like in control, like this is what you're eating, like you're eating juice, and not, I didn't feel like tempted. where a lot of times when I'll do stuff like that, like I can't wait to just like binge at the end of it. But and I feel like energized and stuff. I don't know. It was fine. I don't know.
Fasting
you know,
will do that too. I'm studying fasting like in depth right now, and I'll talk to you guys like at a later session, or maybe do like a pop-up one about intermittent fasting and like the pros and cons and like how to do it safely as a woman. But it can feel really energizing.
So that was my weekend, which was, you know, kind of different, but so let's just not pay attention to macros. My steps are like super up. Ariel, this thing is now $20 on Amazon. Like what? And I think
she said it the last time I was on, and she's like, I was like, girl, I got this shit for like $20.
I know. And I think my husband is like annoyed with me because I'm like, do you know what else this does? And you know what else I really love about it? And he's like, shut up. Like, I like it better than my Apple Watch. Ha ha ha. He has one.
You can't get it wet, I guess, is like the one big thing. But other than that, I mean,
That's
I don't
fine.
know. I don't need to know what I'm doing in the shower. Like, I'm okay with it.
So I've enjoyed like watching that. And like I said last week, I am getting way more steps just in on a normal day than I ever thought I was. But I've been walking more. I went on an amazing walk last Friday with my girlfriend, and that was really good. And like we both needed it. So we're like, let's just do this more. Why don't we do this more? I have also been tracking my stuff again. Like I just need to see it like this. Because I just do. Like I can put it in my phone, but I have to like go back at the end of the day and write it in my notebooks. I'm like processing it.
Being able to see it and like check off those boxes or color them in, it's like an immediate, it's like a dopamine feedback. Like it is a feel good hormone getting released into your body. Like I got a little gold star, and the more you can break down
it too and be like, okay, you are on track. Like you didn't just, you are doing things. So so that's good. My water is really good. I've been adding lemon essential oils to my water, and I feel like that kind of helps me get over the like towards the end of the day, like give me a little like, oh, it's not just water, it's exciting. And before I wasn't counting like any LaCroix or any like bubbly or fizzy water or anything like that. But I was like, well, that's silly because it kind of counts. So
no, it counts.
Once I started adding that, it's like, I am getting way closer to 100. Like earlier, I had like 98, 81. So I started counting that to like make myself feel better and not just go by the water bottle. Yeah, I sent updated pictures to you, Annie, and
awesome.
I feel like there actually is something there instead
something
of,
is there. Yes. Did you email them to me, or did you send them?
I put them in the Google Doc.
Oh, perfect. Okay, cool.
And I did like the little diptych like side by side so I could see it like right away because I needed like instant gratification and was like, oh my God, okay. So that's kind of fun. And now I just need to I'm getting close to the point where I'm like doing well enough where I stop. So like the next
I do that too. I was just telling Fred last night, I do this all the time where I'm super diligent, and then I get to the point where my mind switches and it's like, wow, I just have a great metabolism. Like, hello. Right? I can eat anything I want. And then my body's like, girl, no, you don't. Like, you work hard for this. Get back to it. And it happens over and over and over again. And so if you're feeling that way, like, just know it's normal, and that, you know, really what's harder is maintaining and like this steady progress. That's harder. Like losing the initial like 5 pounds or whatever. People do that all the time, right? That's like the definition of yo-yo dieting, but keeping with it and keeping consistent and knowing that it's not like it's not trying a new thing. It's just keep doing the same stuff, the same boring stuff like water and walking and hitting your macros. that's like where the major win is. So awesome, Laura. Great check-in. Love it. Excuse me. Okay, BB, how about you?
Oh, good. We got on the water, so that was I know, on Wingra. Yay.
Oh, on Wingra.
Yeah, Wingra.
Yay.
As I have been sitting here listening, I realized I was able to, I think, articulate the way I've been feeling the last couple of weeks, but especially this week. I feel like I'm back in COVID mode where the days, all of a sudden it's Wednesday and I'm like, wait a minute, where was the weekend? And so those days are just going, and I haven't been doing a good job of keeping track of things. I've just sort of I've been doing things pretty well, but I haven't been improving things that, I haven't been continuing to add things that I need to do better. Just because it's like the days are just rolling by and I'm not noticing.
Mm-hmm.
So the things I'm doing well are the things I have been doing okay in, and I'm doing a little better with water and walking more. So those things are going well. And I'm still tracking, but I'm not planning as well as I need to. I'm still winging it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So although I'm being mostly successful, I don't think I'm going to move past this until I take some bigger steps.
Is that because now you're in season and you're traveling?
Well, we're not even really traveling, but there's so much, well, just like everybody else, there's so much going on that's different than it was. It's different than it's ever been, let's put it that way, because it's not back to normal, but it's better than it used to be. So I just feel like I'm one step behind all the time,
Mm-hmm.
which is very unusual.
Mm-hmm.
That's not my MO. I might not like what I'm doing, but it's not like I'm behind usually.
Right.
Now it's a little bit of both.
I see like literally everyone nodding. Do other people feel that way too? Like you're just like one step behind with things? Yeah.
My last call of the afternoon, it was a COVID call. And one of my colleagues said something that really resonated. And it was, the beginning of COVID, it just felt like everything was so discombobulated and changing every day. And then we all got into a routine. And as the vaccines roll out, it feels like we're in that initial COVID stage again, right? Where all of a sudden it's unpredictable and it changes day by day. And we're just thrown back into flux. And I thought, God, he just really hit it. Because I thought, yes, to me, that's what feels different maybe, is we're not in our routine, but our COVID routine has been disrupted.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that uncertainty is really hard. It's like, it's stressful.
It's my job to help other people manage theirs.
Mm-hmm.
So not only am I going, but I feel like a fraud, but I'm not, because I'm giving them good advice.
Mm-hmm.
It's just advice that I'm not able to follow yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really hard. But you're doing great on so many things, like things that you weren't doing at all before.
Right.
Mm-hmm. How's your sleep been?
My sleep's okay. I've been now I'm into a little more of a routine, so I'm getting enough sleep. I'm getting at least 7 hours, and I make up for it on the mornings that I can sleep in, so that's good. So
Is that like one? Is that like one morning?
It's 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's good. Although now we're getting tested every day, so I have to go in twice, and it's an hour round trip, so that sucks. But that's a little unfortunate. And the testing's in the morning, and on those days the practice is we only have one that I have to go to, but it's okay.
I think for now, just really focus on the wins, like what you're winning at, and giving yourself grace at the rest, and trying the things that you're already doing, just how can you make them easier and more automatic and more kind of like less thought going into it, and just focus on making those, repetitive and automatic. And then when your life frees up a little bit, then we'll like implement the next stage. But you're really great. So give yourself, like, be proud of yourself and give yourself lots of grace right now.
Okay, I'll try. I'll do it. I'll work on it.
That's better. I'm like, no trying. Try. Not Yoda or something, right? No try, exactly. Just do. Okay, these are fantastic check-ins from everyone. Is anything else? Any last?
Can somebody remind me about the watch that what brand is it, or what kind is it that you got from Amazon?
I can send you the link, Mary.
Okay.
Hold on a second. I'll put it in the chat.
And it's just a simple one that just kind of
but it does it does steps, it does sleep, it does your heart rate. Cool. It does everything that you need it to. And if you want to connect it to your phone, like to get text through it, you can, but yeah, I don't have that stuff set up, but I'll send you the link here quick.
Awesome.
I did want to,
which is nice, because then at the app you can like, that's why I get my average steps for the week. I just like pull up the app and it's like, here's what your weekly average was. It's like really nice.
Cool.
That's amazing. How is that $20 and like a Fitbit?
I don't know. I
have no idea either.
Stumbled upon it and I was like, well, this is, and it had so many good reviews.
That is so good. Could you guys post that in one of you in just the Facebook group, so I can also share it with other clients and stuff?
I wanted to say one other thing too. At the beginning of all of this, I did not do the journaling that you wanted us to do, Annie, and I have started now.
Yay.
And that has made a gigantic difference in setting me up for, like, that's why I'm drinking the water, because I write it every day. Like, what's one thing that you're going to do today? I'm going to drink water. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that is really helping.
Good. Right, I love that. Yay. Okay, great. Thanks for sharing that. Yay. Okay, I'm glad.
I have just one more win, like unintended win.
Yes, throw it out there.
Family was here the week I didn't go grocery shopping, which was probably part of it. My dad is insulin controlled diabetic, and he's really had troubles with his carbs and his sugars, and it just has created in a lot of monitoring. So I introduced him to MyFitnessPal, and that has been amazing for him to finally, like, for real track it, as opposed to, what he thinks it is. So using the barcode scanner and all of that. So it was one of those unintended, perks to all of this.
Yeah.
It's really helped him.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love that. I have one more, and this goes to like literally everybody. And I feel like everybody's skin is glowing, and I don't know if it's the water, if it's the fruit, I don't know what it is, but I know I look like a ghoul, but it's bad lighting. I like literally everybody, I'm like looking at everybody like, okay, we have like a little glow up.
I have a halo light glow up going on.
You know what else though? I got a massage last week, and the lady was like, "You've been drinking water." I was like, "Yes, I have." She's like, "I haven't used barely any oil on you." I was like, "Oh my God." Like, yes. It's finally, nobody's ever told me that in my whole life.
It's crazy how it actually matters. When we were in Colorado a few weeks ago, Fred kept saying, "Aren't your lips dried? Like, do you chapstick?" And I was like, "Nope, I'm good." And it's like from the water, just little things like that. But I do agree with Ariel though. I have a halo light, so I'm cheating, but like everyone else does look like they're on like a glow up here.
Miss Ma'am, you are the glowiest of all the glowers. Don't do that.
No kidding. Okay, I do have one quick question. So the high carb days, is this more like so that we can have that like cheat day, or is it because it does help you? I think you talked before about the reset. And the reason I ask is that I'm having a hard enough time hitting my macros I have not started like trying to figure out the carb thing because it's a little overwhelming. And so like, I'm just like, just now finally getting my macros right. And so then and I went with the lower carb. So I'm not quite sure, you know what I mean?
So one thing about that, you had a question. Let me share my screen. Do you mind if I share?
So go ahead. Yep.
Mary? So the number that I put, so when you're calculating macros.
Oh yeah, you put a new number in there.
So here, so there's your higher carb day, and for anyone who's not switched to a 5-2 yet, I want you guys all to be at 5-2. So when I go through your your check-in sheets, not your cheats, your check-in sheets, I'll make sure everyone has 5-2 calculated. So that's 5 lower carb days and 2 higher carb days. Preferably doing the higher carb days back to back. But if you have like a special event or going to happy hour on Thursday or something, and you want to split it up into like 2 separate days, that works too. But I say just for convenience to set your low carb date in your MyFitnessPal.
Yep.
Unless you have premium, and then you can do each one individually. But then this weekly average goal is what I want you to report and what I'm seeing. So when you go over here to your check-in sheet, this number right here should be your average. And then these numbers that you're reporting is your average for the week.
So that 153 carbs is the one I'm supposed to be using.
That should be your average for the week. So if you are, yep, so that's your average for the week. So
Okay.
For your low carb days, you're going to be at 140 for the most of the week. And then your high carb days are going to be at this higher number.
Okay, so why am I not getting this? Why wouldn't you set the MyFitnessPal to your average?
Because, well, you could, but then each day you're going to have to do the math and be like, okay, I'm lower today because it's my low carb day. And then your calories are going to be lower and
okay. Yeah. So set it as the lower, just know that I'll be
over on your high carb day.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. Because otherwise, if you set for your average every day, you're doing the math, by your head of being like, okay, I'm supposed to be a little under. I'm supposed to be a little
over. And again, back to my question, are we doing just to give us those 2 fun days, or is it because it really does, it's science?
And it serves a very important purpose.
Okay.
Yeah. So 2 very important purposes, and totally unrelated to like your mental health or having a cheat day or anything like that. So number 1, we're for most of you who are in a calorie deficit, you're eating below your maintenance calories, you're eating below your total daily energy expenditure. So you need this much. We're setting your calories a little bit lower for that weight loss goal. And this also applies to like Mary and BB, who we've talked about being in a reverse. You guys are still also like under your TDE, but we're trying to get you guys up to it. So eventually your metabolism adjusts and it slows down. And we don't want that because that's when the weight loss ends, right? So what the high carb day is, it's a mini diet break where we're tricking your metabolism and we're like, we're really up here. And it's like, oh, I have to get back up here. Okay, I have to keep burning. And then you're like, psych sucker, I'm back here on Monday. And it keeps going along. So 1 day of a high carb day is enough to prevent that metabolic adaptation. 2 days at a high carb day is enough to to fully replenish your hormones, because also when you're in the calorie deficit, we're eating pretty tight on carbs, and the low carbs, if you're doing low carb too long, it starts to mess with your like hunger and your stress hormones. And so 2 days and that high carb day is enough to fully replenish your hormones.
Okay.
Really important. And those 2 things are going to keep everyone's progress going and prevent weight loss plateaus and fat loss plateaus.
Got it. Okay.
You have that sort of like pressure valve of like looking forward to the high carb days and planning your treats. And so that really helps people stay consistent in the long run, because you don't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm totally deprived, or I never get to have, my favorite whatever.
Okay. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Sorry if this is rudimentary for everybody, but I know you said it before, but yeah. Okay.
No, those are great questions, because you kind of think like, oh, it's just like a cheat day, but it's not.
Yeah.
And I think also taking that word out, like not calling it a cheat day, even in your head, like just it's a high carb day, helps you stay like, it's pretty controlled, really, especially when you're, for those of you who are like trying to navigate how many carbs, you get on a high carb day. It's not an all out cheat day. It's really like just enough to keep you right where we want to be.
Okay. I'm curious, are the rest of you got this nailed? Low carb, high
I did
carb?
my first one yesterday, kind of on accident. And I was like, wow, we're like halfway through the day. And I was like, oh, I see where this is going. And I kind of just went for it. And I had a similar, like kind of adjacent question, because like my preference would obviously be like, go crazy, have a high fat day, which I know is not a thing. But I guess that's like, my question is, I still feel like I come in under my calories for the day, and I don't always use all of it, but I still go not way over it, but I still go over my fat allotment. And I was curious, what does that mean? Because I think if I understand, like, girl, that is still messing you up, I will try to stop doing it.
We want you to get those carbs up there, because the carbs are what's going to replenish your hormones. And so ghrelin and leptin are your two like hunger hormones. And the way I remember them is ghrelin is like grumbly. It tells you when you're hungry. And leptin is your like satiety. I don't know how to say that, but like your fullness. So one tells you when you're full and one tells you when you're hungry. Those get messed up if you're not getting enough carbs. So having enough carbs is really important. And after you guys are like nailing the high carb day, we can play around with it a little bit more. And we can also increase the fat. So it's like increase the carbs and increase the fat. But you're already seeing like how tricky it is to plan out like just changing one. So I kind of want you to like get the one first, and then after you feel like more comfortable with it, then you can play around with it. But I think the more you think of like eating pretty much like normal, and then either adding like a serving of carbs to each of your meals, or like one, bigger treat or big one special meal, that's really about what it is. It's not like a whole
thing.
But like, that's my thing.
The whole thing that
I feel like for me, it's like the carbs come with the fat. Like I can't have one without the other.
A lot of times they do. So if you're looking for like donuts, cake, ice cream,
pizza.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
But so like, the foods that are gonna be like strictly more carbs are like, if you think of like really just like carbs, like pasta, bread, rice, sweet potatoes, juice. Like I normally like don't even have juice because it's just like straight sugar at the end of the day, but I will have it on a high carb day, and I'll have grapefruit juice, and it's so good. Fruit, popcorn, candy. One of my clients was so excited to do her high carb day because she was just going to do red licorice. And I was like, you do you, boo. Obviously, I don't recommend a whole diet of red licorice, but I mean, like, there's room to add in stuff like that on a high carb day. But yeah, it is a little tricky because it really, the combo of the carbs and fat is what's the most delicious.
Yep.
But it gives you like garlic bread with your pasta, or, just stuff like that doesn't normally fit in.
Okay.
Does that help? Did I like clarify?
A lot. Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, before I go to the slides, I have just a couple quick announcements. So anyone who's still doing a 6-1 high carb day split, I want you to move to 5-2, and I'll go through and check your sheets tomorrow. Anyone who's not doing a high carb day, I want you to start doing it, because like I said, it's not like wait until you feel ready. It's really going to help your results and help keep your metabolism and your hormones healthy for the long term. And also, last thing is, don't forget about the book club on Friday. I know some of you have been reaching out to me behind the scenes that book is like, so if anyone who's planning on joining, but just.
What time is it again?
At noon on Friday.
I hope to.
Okay, cool.
I can't, but I did buy the book.
Okay, awesome. Cool. I mean, no pressure either way. This is just something I want to kind of play around with and see if you guys like it and if I like it and how it goes. So I'll probably do it for a couple months and then kind of evaluate.
Do you know what the next book might be?
Yes, I think it is going to be The Female Fat Solution, which is all about hormones and women's cycle stuff, which I'm also going to be talking about in like 2 weeks. So this is going to be the book for April.
Awesome.
Someone I know wrote it. So it's very simple. It's like big spaces and very fast reading.
Okay.
But it's a women's health and, metabolism and hormones and cycle stuff and like perimenopause and postmenopause. There's like very little research about it because we just started researching women separately from men like less than 20 years ago. So it's really like emerging and so exciting, like to just learn more about how our bodies work, and they're different from the standard research that was almost all done on men for decades. So I'll put the link in the thing. It's available on Amazon. I don't know if there's an audio version or not, but it's really good stuff. Okay, let me pull up these slides. Uh-oh. Oh no, these are not the right slides. Hold on, you guys. I'm sorry. Oh no, I did not save these slides. I'm gonna pull up my ones from the fall, and there might be like a little bit rusty. Oh, that's so weird. I spent like an hour putting them together.
We hate that.
Yes.
Normally I would blame Mercury retrograde. We're not technically anyone right now, but
I'm gonna blame it anyway. Okay, here's the slides from last time I did the Nourish project. I might just sort of embellish a little bit, and please forgive any typos that I promise I corrected when I went through these again. Okay, so talking about social situations, and like I said earlier, this is just like such a great time because like spring's happening, things are opening up, people are getting their vaccines. And it's just such an easy way to get derailed when you're like clockwork Monday through Friday, you're like on your plan, you're nailing everything. And then it's like Friday happy hour or Friday pizza night. And then the whole, weekend can kind of go awry. But it doesn't have to be that way. And so I'm going to talk for each of these situations, kind of like some mindset stuff and some concrete practical tips that will set you up for success through a bunch of different situations. So number one is just that extra planning really, really helps, especially if it's a holiday that's around Easter or around eating. And I mean, honestly, all of our holidays like go around eating stuff because we love food. So, even Easter is usually like Easter brunch, Easter candy. So again, plan. So like preload your meals and snacks into MyFitnessPal. If you're traveling to see family or see friends or for whatever reason, bring your snacks and bring your meals, plan them and bring a cooler bag, just like we talked about for road trips. If you're going out to eat, look at that restaurant menu ahead of time and decide what you'll eat. There's so much power in having that pre-made decision, so you don't go just by the whim of like what sounds good or what other people are ordering. And if you can, pick the restaurant. A lot of times when you're in a group and everyone's like, I don't know, where do you want to go? And like, just step up and be like, let's go to this place where I know I can get food that I like, that hits my macros. At my last job before I left practicing law, the favorite restaurant was like an Irish pub that had only fish and chips. And I was like, and they took me there for my welcome lunch. And I was like, oh my gosh, you guys do not know me at all. And then after that, I was like, let's go to this other place. And everybody would be like, oh yeah, great. Okay. Same thing, kind of like the principles are going to be the same through all of this. Really like pre-planning fun dinners, pre-planning anything that you know is important and you want to make room for, and then planning the rest of the day around it. So if you know you're going to have a big brunch, say for Easter, plan what you're going to have, contribute to the menu as much as you can, either the planning or actually bringing a dish or two that you want to eat that fits your macros to share maybe. And then the rest of the day, just focus on protein and fiber, and also give yourself a lot of grace on these holidays. Like, do your best, but also be present and enjoy the time, because they're really fleeting. Okay, so eating out in general, like I said, choose the restaurant if at all possible. Don't be the victim to the fate of group decision making. Another thing is to use eating out as an opportunity. Like, this is a mindset thing, to have really good food that you can't cook at home. Like, I know a lot of times it seems like, oh, why am I even eating? Like, what's the point of eating out if I'm going to get a salad? Right? Because I should have something fun, like a double bacon cheeseburger with extra large, ginormous fries or something. But if you switch that to being like, this is a chance for me to have like salmon, which I personally cannot cook at home. I always dry it out. But at a restaurant, it's usually like perfect. And, so I look for something like that. Oh, I even put it in the example. I didn't even see this, but I always order seared salmon because I can't cook it at home. I dry it out. It tastes like cardboard. And the other thing is, a lot of restaurants, it depends state by state, but a lot of times they will have calorie information, but they won't have the macros. But you can at least look at that and be like, do I want the thing that's 1,400 calories, or do I want the thing that's 1,000 calories? And at least you get some information to go. In general, for ordering, remember, like, even though you can't measure or weigh or anything, but kind of you can eyeball it by now, looking for that macro plate with 4 to 6 ounces of protein, which is like the palm of your hand, 4 ounces of carbs, which is like the size of a fist, and then lots of veggies. If you're getting appetizers, look for appetizers that are high in protein and not deep fried. Like chicken satay or like beef satay might be good, or spring rolls instead of egg rolls. It's really hard to get the accurate macros on this stuff. So just making choices that are likely to be fitting your macros or closer can be helpful. And then if you love dessert, get dessert, but just, share it or have a bite or two. And then the last one, I don't know why this is so small, but order a calorie-free drink. Remember, those count too. And you don't really want to, unless you do want to, maybe it's not wasting to have like a full-scale Coke or something like that to you, but get a water with a lemon or something, and get your water, and or unsweetened iced tea or something like that. Okay, here's some things I've just sort of like put together over the years of like what to order. Like, if you're going to a restaurant, you have no idea. These are things that kind of always fit well into macros. So if you're going for breakfast, an egg white veggie omelet, toast, bacon, and veggies is usually a really good bet. You're getting plenty of protein, a couple of veggies, some fat from the bacon. restaurant lunch options, we've talked about this a little before, but anywhere that has sort of like a build your own salad bar kind of vibe. So like Chipotle or Qdoba, Naf Naf or Roti, Green and Grain. I know in Madison, Forage is a great option. Crisco and Green is another one that's like Green and Grain. And any of them, just order the salad bowl, double the chicken or double the protein, get all the veggies, and then like one healthy fat. So, you know, if it's a Qdoba, it might be avocado or cheese or sour cream. They give you giant servings of all of them. You know, but just like one, even if that way, even if you can't know the exact macros, you know, you're getting like a ballpark of what you need. Does anybody else have favorite like lunch, like go-to lunch options?
Panera has those like a teriyaki chicken, rice and broccoli bowl now.
Oh, that sounds good.
And they don't put that much sauce on it. So it's actually pretty good.
That sounds really good. And any place that you go, just remember that like the menu is a suggestion. Like you can customize whatever. If it's like double the protein or put the dressing on the side or whatever, like don't be afraid to like be specific about what you need and what you want. If you're like at a normal restaurant, you know, and just trying to decide like what is the best order, I tend to go with, I look at the salads and I pick whichever one sounds the yummiest to me. And then I order that with double chicken or double protein, whatever the protein is, and the cheese and the dressing on the side. So they're not like drenched in cheese and dressing. And then I just put on as much as I need. And that usually tends out to be a really satisfying option. No idea what the macros are, but you know, it's close enough and you end up feeling pretty good. Also, you know, like Mary just said, if you can order like the sauce light or order the sauce on the side, that's really helpful. And then if it is just like a normal plate, like a, you know, real food, like meat, carbs, veggies, try to eat the protein first and maybe box up half of the carbs, the fries or whatever they give you, because usually you get a ton more carbs than you need. And if they're there, I will eat them. They're designed to be addictive, right? Especially like French fries or whatever. So way better to like order it, just get some of them out of sight, out of mind, and then eat and enjoy it than try to like not have any and make them super restricted or something like that. Okay, specifically, I think that Mexican or Asian restaurants are really great options for getting macro-friendly stuff. If I'm a Mexican restaurant, I usually get fajitas because they have like a whole bunch of meat and veggies stir-fried, and then tortillas, you know, like you can basically like build your own. Just keep in mind that probably they're using a lot more oil behind the scenes than you are at home, and that's why it tastes so good. So maybe go a little bit lighter on the fat, just like I was saying before, like sour cream or cheese or guac, not all three. And then for Asian stuff, I love curry. You guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but I lived in Thailand for a little bit. And so I obsessed with all Thai food, but like either stir fry or curry, you can always get double the protein and then just eat like half the rice. And that's a great option. And that works for vegetarians too, because they always have tofu as an option. Again, for like appetizers, like I was saying, you know, spring rolls, something not deep fried, or like beef jerky, chicken satay, that kind of stuff makes really good appetizers of protein heavy stuff. Anyone else have like favorite go-tos? No.
I did order on my way to work today because I went in around like noon. I decided I was like, let me just order a salad because I didn't feel like making anything for myself. And I went to the Corner Bakery website and I like went through and I like looked up the salad and I looked up the nutritional, and then I just like ordered it and picked it up. But it was like all ready to go.
Oh, that's
just there on the side. I got like a turkey cub, but it was so simple, and I was like, oh, this was easy. That's what I did.
Yes, I love that. I also love when salads are made for me because you don't have to have all the ingredients and worry about going bad.
It tastes so much better when somebody else makes it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I really enjoy salads. And when I was home for like the first 6 months of COVID back in Florida, and I make bomb salads. That's why you see my sad face. I'm like, I had to pick one fat because I'm like, nuts, cheese, olive oil. But my mom always is like, Ariel, you make the best salads. I was like, it's only good because you're not making it.
Kids, someone else made it for you. Yes. Well, that's awesome. So yeah, Corner Bakery in Chicago is like an amazing gem too. Okay, so moving on to like, I don't know, I lump these together, family gatherings and barbecues. I'm just thinking of like gatherings, like social gatherings in general. Maybe family, maybe friends. But so as far as like mindset, really helpful to plan what you're going to eat ahead of time and then make your plate and stick to it. Like, you guys know I'm from Wisconsin. Like we love all food and all drinks. And like, it's so easy to just have a plate and like fill it up and fill it up and fill it up, and just keep kind of grazing. But it's really hard to track. Like Mary was at the tasting thing. If you're having like lots of small plates or like just kind of eating constantly, and you also never really feel full and satisfied. So, even if other people are kind of just like grazing or just like kind of refilling, it's really helpful to just like make your plate. That way you can see like, are you getting your protein, your carbs and fiber? Sit down and eat it, and then grab a LaCroix or something. So you have something in your hand, and you can be social and enjoy the socializing rather than like eating all day. If it's a potluck, that's awesome because it gives you opportunity to control the food and bring stuff that you love and that will be kind of macro friendly. Other people might like it too, or maybe like it's all for you, but it doesn't matter because there will be something that you can eat. And then also, if people make like, Aunt Susie's famous Oreo fluff salad and whatever, you can taste it and be like, wow, this is really great. Thanks, Aunt Susie. Right? Like you don't need to have like a whole giant serving just because she made it for you because it was your favorite when you were 5 or something. Does anybody have that like family favorites that like your aunt or someone is like, I made this thing you love? Maybe my mom loves making us food. Okay, grilling. I mean, summer is coming. It's grilling season. That's awesome. Like talk about macro-friendly protein leading stuff, right? Burgers, brats, chicken. You can also get fancy, try salmon, steak and stuff like that on the grill. Like I said, pick like 1 or 2 of your favorite treats, not like every single one, and just really savor and enjoy what you do have and just be kind of done with it after that. And then this is my like Scarlett O'Hara rule, that if you remember the beginning of Gone with the Wind, where Scarlett is going to the barbecue and she has to eat a whole entire chicken dinner before she can go to the barbecue. And the reason is because, Mammy tells her she doesn't want her to be eating like a farmhand or something. I don't know what she says, but like she wants her to go to the event full so that she's not scarfing down all the food when she gets there. And like, that's kind of a good rule of thumb too, is like, if you're going to focus on socializing and you're trying to hit your macros and stay with your health goals, eat some healthy food before you leave your house so you don't show up ravenous and be like, oh, all there is here is Rice Krispie treats. Right. So that really helps. Get some protein and fiber before you leave the house so you're not like starving, hangry, and like at the whim of whatever treats other people brought to the party. Networking events. Yes. Ariel, this is for you. What is this? Oh, bottomless brunches. Oh, I know. Bottomless brunches like difficult, and like small plates brunches, stuff like that. It's just really hard. Networking events are, same thing. Usually they're like after work or right during dinner time, and there's like little appetizers and drinks, and it's hard to keep track of everything. So, mindset over everything. Like first and foremost, remember the purpose of networking event is to go there and network, to meet new people, meet new friends, meet new colleagues, whatever. it's not, the purpose isn't to eat or drink. So you can go and like have a really successful event without, you know, loading up on the free appetizers or the drinks or whatever. So I really like to have a goal when I go to a networking event, because I'm kind of like a well-trained introvert. Like most people think I'm an extrovert, but really like I am ready to go home. So if you have a goal, yeah, BB's too. So, you know, if you have a goal, like I'm going to have 3 great connections and like have some really good conversations, and then I get to leave, you know, having a goal like that. So you don't feel like you have to stay all night. You have to like talk to every like bozo that wants to talk to you. You know, really being like, this is my goal of coming here tonight. I'm setting my intentions, and I'll know it's a success when I do this thing. And then I get to go home and put on my comfy pants. So yeah, like 3 great connections and I'm out, or whatever, you know, whatever works for you, whatever you're going there for. A lot of times they really do have kind of macro friendly food at networking events, you know, like shrimp cocktail, meatballs, chicken or beef skewers, that kind of stuff. Again, like leading with protein, or the veggie trays, which never get any love from anyone, you know, rather than the tray past like phyllo rolls of like mini sandwiches or something. So, you know, you can, if you are hungry, like look for stuff that's kind of more macro friendly. Yeah, avoid the tray pasta hors d'oeuvres. They're also messy, right? You're getting this greasy food on your fingers, and then like trying to shake hands with people. Like, it's just like, as far as drinks go, I love to have a good like mocktail on hand, especially now I'm the queen of mocktails. But I always do club soda with a splash of cranberry and a lime. It's delicious. It's like 2 calories from the splash of cranberry. Is that yours, BB, too? Yeah. And then it doesn't look like you're the one standing there with a bottle of water. Like no one wants to drink a bottle of water. It's boring to drink that much water. And like you should get to have some fun. So, you know, having like something to drink that, you know, or if you are having wine or whatever, it's fine, no problem, but definitely do like 1-to-1 with water and then alcoholic drinks. So you're not just like sitting there guzzling wine on an empty stomach. Okay. I know like some of you in this group do a lot of networking. Anyone else have like tips for networking stuff? Okay. It's coming back.
I feel like, when was that? I don't even remember. What was that like?
I know.
Shake
No,
hands?
A
I
past
haven't
life.
shaken anyone's hand forever.
I know. A room full of people eating with no masks and shaking hands. I know. It is going to come back though, for sure. So I just want everyone to be prepared. Let's see, what else do we have? I think I'm almost done. Oh, that's it. That's the last one. I added one more in the new slides that I made for this year, and now I can't even remember what it was, but I'll come back to me and I'll maybe just share it in the group. But was that helpful, you guys?
Yeah, very much.
Okay,
Super
good.
helpful. I kind of jokingly said this in the chat, but actually, like for me, I mean, the work stuff is just what it is. But now I'm also thinking about like dating, and I'm like, oh God, like I have to do that again. And like
That'd be tough.
you know, it's like it's hard because it's like, okay, you go to a bar, right? Like that's what you do, and it's like,
yeah,
it's tough. But the more that you can, you know, it's like all these same principles, right? The mindset, the preparation, having your pro tips, virtual dating.
Laura, I've been on a virtual date, and somebody actually, the date was they sent me 3 bottles of wine, and they had 3 bottles of wine. We did a wine tasting virtually.
Fun.
Oh,
but still alcohol.
So
I mean, I literally couldn't escape it if I tried.
yeah. It's tough. Okay, maybe we'll do a special like dating in COVID.
Just for me.
We can live vicariously through you.
No, literally, it's dating it. Well, that's a conversation for another day.
Over wine, though.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know
I am
what,
gonna leave it.
I just realized I have been getting myself screwed up with my Fitness Pal because I've been going back and forth between looking at the grams and the percentages.
Oh, just look at the grams.
Uh-huh. I just noticed that because
Mhm.
that's what happens. And then I got it figured out, and then I switch something, and then I look at the percentages, and of course, I'm a slow starter or slow learner.
You're getting it. That's the most important part. But yeah, just the grams. Like I saw, I think it was that Ariel who showed like, oh, I got like my percentages like right on. Like,
Yep.
that's awesome.
But
For
that's
sure.
really hard.
Yeah. But like at the end of the day, just pick one and stick to it. And I'd stick with the grams.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one other quick question. Do you try to, I think you said this, like split your calories and then know your grams like per meal?
Yeah, I do 4 meals. I do breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner, and they're
Yep.
all, about 500 calories or whatever, and then the same.
Okay.
I'm gonna lie, right now my macros are like at 2,500 calories, so they're all like 650 calorie meals. It's great being pregnant.
Awesome.
But yeah, I try to figure out the same, and that way,
Yeah.
your body's getting that consistent influx, and then hitting that breakdown of protein, carbs, and fat with each one.
Yeah.
Your body does better at digesting the protein with the carbs and the fat. It digests better. It doesn't spike your insulin. It digests the protein. And for me, it works better than having like a big meal and then a small meal. Some people
Yeah.
like having like more snacks or whatever. So that can be just like a personal preference thing too.
Okay.
But I'd recommend sort of just playing around with like, do you, Mary, like prefer
Yeah.
6 meals that are like the same size or 4 meals, and then just kind of sticking to that.
Okay.
Also makes your life a lot easier in figuring out what you're eating and then
Yeah.
like calculating everything.
Okay.
You got this. You guys are doing amazing. Okay, you guys, have a great night. I am going to leave it right here. I will, give you some individualized feedback from your check-in sheets and the call tomorrow morning. And then I'll see some of you on Friday for our book club.
Yay.
Okay?
Bye,
Okay.
everybody.
All right.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.